Hello everyone, Edain here, and welcome back to the Edain mod, where today we're ranking the last faction, their heroes, the Misty Mountains. Oh, this is a good faction. Overall, this faction is very good. It was the last faction that was brought into the Edain mod, if you don't include Belfalas, the last full faction. And they honestly have got nearly everything perfect for this faction. They even removed the game-breaking bugs with the AI would just build outside the map, so you could never actually win the game. Honestly, everything they've done with this faction is amazing. And, yep, today we're going to be ranking all their heroes. And as usual, last time I'm saying this, heroes are going to be ranked between A and E. A for perfect, B for above average, C for average, D for below average, and E for needs a rework. Let's start with their scout hero, the Hunter, who I was constantly going between, should I make him B tier, should I make him C tier, is he A tier worthy? And I've decided to put him at C tier. He's very similar to some of the other heroes I've already talked about, which is they're very good at dealing damage, but they have very little going on when it comes to actually scouting. His one scouting tool is to reveal a nearby creep lair, the closest creep lair that's neutral to you, for 30 seconds, which, yes, you can merge together with Pact of Hatred to take over any lairs. But then you're just like, okay, now there's no lairs left, this ability does nothing. Which is unfortunate, because there are having an ability do nothing, even from the early game even to the late game, can be detrimental. He does get leveled up faster from doing heavy damage with his bounty ability to damage anything except on, but not on heroes, elite units, monsters, or buildings. So he's only going for the weak stuff, normal units. He can then move faster and slow enemies he passes through, which unfortunately doesn't, not something you really want to be doing because he's got very little health, very little damage. So the Tiring Hunt is a thing you use to run away, or run in and then accidentally forget where he is and dies. Which is why he is at C tier for me. He's very squishy for a mounted hero. There's only two other heroes that have like really fast movement speed. That's Kilion, who is actually very tanky, and Drauglin, who we just talked about in the last video. But he doesn't get dealt trample damage from his wolf form. Then we've got the Open Wound. Deal damage to an enemy, cause additional bleeding for 30 seconds, and the enemy is revealed for this time. And suffers more damage from heroes. It's a lot of text, a lot of it is very not needed. The extra damage suffered from enemy heroes is okay. But the fact you can auto cast this and it targets any enemy means that most enemies you're hitting are just going to die instantly. The bleed over time will normally do that. The extra reveal effect is pointless because, as I've said in the past, using a temporary revealing ability at melee range is not worth it. Because the vision in this game is already really good. You've got very good vision range just from your heroes in general, your units. And Misty Mountains also just have massive speed, so they never have to really worry about not seeing things. Then he does get a summon, which comes at level 10. And if I can finally summon it, here we go. It does make a unit of Warg Riders, which does state is at level 10. Let's just check the health on those guys. 499. But Thimble himself has 1530 health, with 300 damage. So he's got decent stats for, you know, a scout hero accomplice. The problem is, though, if this guy dies, the whole unit dies. So trample damage will not instantly kill him. Well, not immediately, depending on what you're charging. Most pikemen in the game, in the late game, because unfortunately, again, this is a level 10 ability, so you're not going to be using it from the very beginning. It just means he's going to die off very quickly. I like the character. I like the design. I like the whole premise of it. It's the two of the named Hobbit hunters. One got mauled by Azog. The one got his head cut off by Legolas. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of their story. Moving on, we go to the 3 heroes that when you recruit them will give you a level to all your military buildings depending on where they come from. So firstly we have the chieftain, Gorkil the Goblin King as he was once named, but now he's a little fella. But he's still really good. I like him a lot. He's someone I'll always get because without him you can't get pikemen to deal with cavalry. He is B tier easily. And that's mainly on the fact that, for one, you get pikemen if you once you get him from your lairs. You kind of desperately need pikemen against most factions because goblins are very easily trampled and killed. But he also comes with a few extra nice things, such as every attack he does, whether with his bow or his spear, which we'll go into later, will summon some basic goblins, which comes from, obviously, from Moria. So the goblin warriors or the goblin archers, your tier 1 units. You also, while in your bow form, get the troll slaying arrow to do a lot of damage to a monster. It does also specify allied or enemy monster. For a short time, injured monsters' damage is reduced by 90%. Can also be used on your own monster. I don't know why would use it on your own monsters to cripple them and reduce their damage. Like, what? Why have I never noticed that it actually says allied monsters? Why? What is the purpose of killing your own monsters? You can just throw them into a fight and they'll die. Okay? That's so weird. You can also swap to your sword mode, so he's no longer just jittering around. And he gets a much better ability, the Skull Totem, which is exactly like what Gorkil had in BFME 2 Vanilla. Just gives your units around the totem bonus damage. Really good ability. Obviously, the totem can be destroyed. It's not a very healthy thing, but not a lot of people are going to notice it and destroy it. The AI will destroy it pretty quickly, though. So throw it behind your quote-unquote front line with goblins, and you'll be fine. Then you have reinforcements from the deep. Summon more reinforcements from one of your tunnels. I've never seen this ability actually do anything. I do have to, at some point, look at some of these abilities that I'm like, okay, I don't understand them fully, how they work, and actually make either shorts or a full video just going over all of them, bit by bit. Because, like, this ability has been in the game since Edain 4.0 released. Or maybe even before that, because it came with Creator Heroes. But I'm fairly certain with the Creator Heroes it's never worked, and I've tested it extensively in the past. But whenever I use this ability, I just choose something and then just see what happens, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've never seen it work. I want to hope it works, but I don't know. And then finally we have Overwhelming Legions. Just make your version of your passive even stronger, so every attack you have a thrice chance of a thrice % chance of getting more goblins per attack. And instead of ordinary maggots, you call the best warriors equipped with heavy armor and can exceed the command point limit. Really good. The only thing I don't like about this is that it is percentage based. I don't remember what the percentage bases were. I think it's like 5%, so 1 in 20. And then 10%, 1 in 10 chance with your sword. So bow, you're less likely to actually get what you want. While with your sword, you're more likely to get the soldiers because they're cheaper, obviously. It makes sense that the vibes will be that way, if it is that way. Yeah, even just making Gorkil is important, because being able to get your better goblins is worth it. You do need these pikemen in every game, period. You cannot go without them. Anyway, moving on to the Great Goblin. And he feels a song coming on. He is also for me, a B tier hero. Very powerful and very versatile. As long as on the battlefield, the Goblin Town Plunderers, which are your basic Goblin Town units, slightly more expensive than the Moria Goblins, but they also come from Goblin Town, will be able to recruit an additional unit of themselves for a temporary amount of time, which is really cool. Then he has ally structures near a target structure. The ally units deal more damage near a target structure, similar to Holdor's ability, which gives speed. This just gives extra damage, which for a swarming army may not sound very good, but it is. It is very good. Also, all of his abilities give him leadership. Not leadership, give him experience. I don't think it says that in his... Yeah, every time he uses an ability, he gains experience. But he gets to level 10 pretty quickly, faster than most other heroes. He then can summon a... I don't know why the text on that is bugged at the moment. But you summon a way in and out of the tunnel network. So if you ever actually use the tunnels for the Misty Mountains, which I never do, you use it to get your important heroes in and out of danger, which is always a nice addition. Then he's got, again, I don't know why this is broken text, but this is a map-wide boost to all of your Goblin Town goblins. And then finally you've got the cart. I don't know why all his abilities are like that. But yeah, the cart of the Great Goblin is basically a, when you look at it, it's the old battle wagon miniature. Well, battle wagon animation changed to have a warg, a cart, and a goblin on top of it. And you can choose to either load it with flesh, load it with gold, or load it with equipment. And depending on which one you take, you just have to then have him. You just have to have this cart in the range of when things get destroyed. You can heal your allies. You can get large amount of gold, or you can get your units instantly upgraded with heavy armor, which is cool. Very cool ability. The one thing that takes the Great Goblin away from being A tier is that he is very noticeable and very not the toughest. He's not the tankiest. He doesn't do the most damage. He does have AoE, a troll-shaped figure should, but he is very squishy. He should not be leading from the front. He should be throwing his abilities out constantly until he gets to level 10, and then he'll have a lot of health to keep himself alive. But yeah, he is a squishy boy. He's a squishy boy that does a lot of his work from the back. However, someone who fights a bit more into the front is the Defiler. Not Azog, because technically he died, but the Defiler himself. And I've also been mulling over whether or not I should make him C or B tier, similar to the Hunter. But I'm going to go over all his abilities, and then I'll... actually, no, why am I saying that? It's already going to be on the screen. He's going to be C tier for me, because some of his abilities are a little bit weird. So first he's got Mount and Dismount, which is fine. He then has the Warg Leap, which is similar to the leap ability of Drowglin, but you don't have this leap when you're on foot. You instead just have a big hit, which honestly is a bit... It's not disappointing, it's just annoying it doesn't get like a leap attack on foot as well. It would make sense for it to stay as a leap attack. I can understand the creative idea, but yeah, I definitely think this should have also had a leap so he can get into combat more readily when he's not on his Warg. Then he has the Warg Allies, the Warg Ambush. Again, this is originally a create hero ability, which is now full Warg Riders and Wargs. It just gets stronger and stronger the more leveled up he is. He's a competent hero killer with, again, a decent amount of health. But then there's this ability here. Kills an allied Warg or Warg Rider units. Or actually no, he just kills things in this area, which is normally going to be around 3 to 4 Wargs, Warg Riders, such and such. To then give all of the other ones nearby extra attack power and speed. But when you're using this in the fray of battle, you're often going to kill off way more than you want to, and then you're just losing more damage than what you're actually gaining, because Warg Riders are actually really bloody good. Not only are they a tier 3 unit from Gundabad, they're probably one of the best cavalry units in the game, if it weren't for their awkward positioning that they have, the 3-4-3. If it was more centered, it would actually be better, because of how expensive and how command point deficient they are. But yeah, whip the flesh down to the bones is a weird one. And then level 10, he does severe damage to an enemy here and causes enemy units to flee in fear from their leader. The fact that this is a level 10 ability feels awkward. If it was an AoE that did damage everywhere around him and did bonus damage to heroes or froze them in fear and enemy units ran away, that I think would be a better ability than targeting one hero and then make everyone else run away. Because you want to be making them run away before you even get into the conflict, like with Elendil for Aragorn. This ability feels like it's written the wrong way round, in my opinion. He is still overall a good hero, with good hero slaying abilities, but he doesn't actually buff his own hero slaying capabilities. Also, I like the things on his back. He's all about killing your own guys off to make the rest of them that survive even stronger, but only those extra wargs. It's, yeah, I don't typically make the Defiler, or if I do, I just make him for his other things. It's also because I don't typically go for Gundabad straight away, because I prefer the economy boost of Goblin Town and the Great Goblin in general. And also, who can say no to that face? that terrifying bulbous face. Next we move up to the only only hero even you don't get through any of your bases, the only settlement hero. The Troll Brothers, Bill, Tom, and Bert, who is, for me, a B-tier hero. Because not only can you choose between all three Troll Brothers, you get Bert as a base with his cooking ladle to do the basically regular troll things. You can change to Tom, who has his pocket knife. He should have the pocket knife in hand. I don't know why he doesn't, but yes, he does AoE damage. A more larger AoE, but less attack damage. So against large swarms of enemies like other Misty Mountains or Mordor, it's a pretty good hero for doing with them. But then you've also got Bill or William or Will. I don't know. I just call him as it's called there, Bill. Where he throws stones instead. So you've actually got a pseudo siege unit in a troll with a lot of really good health. And let's see if his damage actually changes depending on which form he is in. Yep, you can actually see the damage difference. So 268 in a large AoE, 336 at a close range regular troll damaging ability, but good against heroes, or 369 at a more long range effect, has a chance of missing, but still pretty good. Then you got summon a Troll Horde, which originally used to be a level 7 ability before they changed it a bit. And I like this change because it also incorporates some of his other abilities that they got removed from his repertoire, because he got Treasure Haul. You damage a building. If the building gets destroyed, it leaves behind a treasure chest. You pick up the treasure chest with the Troll Brothers, and then you return it to any of your Troll Hordes, and it will gain experience. It also gains experience around itself whenever enemies are killed around it, similar to the other settlements of the Misty Mountains. And then you have a Troll Rage. Depending on which version you are playing with, you get a different effect. Bert does increased damage, so that's your regular version. Bill has an increased range and rate of fire, so that is the throwing stone one, so you do a more ranged siege destroying effect. And you've got increased armor with Tom, so you can do more slashing and killing from the front lines. Then you have Squash Him into Jelly, which just, it's such a cool looking animation. It's so funny and so silly. And then finally you have the Troll Brothers. For a short time, the other two Troll Brothers are summoned to the field. And while they are on the field, while near each other, they each gain damage and armor, each of them present. And then there's also, to quickly talk about the Troll Horde, as long as one horde exists, the Troll Brothers gain bonus armor. All nearby monsters gain more experience. And as I said, as you level it up, you can then cook them into jelly. Permanently heal all allies around the building passively. You get a healing well as a evil faction is incredible. And then Love of Home, while near the horde, they gain 300% bonus armor. Which, yes, just means that if they're surrounding this whole horde, they are never going to die. You would be better off destroying the horde first before you kill the Troll Brothers. And look how long this effect is lasting for. I've been talking for a while now, and they're still here. And then we can also just rage, and they'll all gain the effects of the rage. Summon another Troll Horde. Just, yeah, really good hero. The one weakness is the fact that they are trolls, so pikemen can just decimate these heroes. But other than that, they are they are near perfect now. Compared to what they were at launch of the Misty Mountains, they are really good. And now we come to the two faction leaders, starting with Bolg, who is for me an A-tier hero. Not just because he has the first of, I hope they do this for more heroes in the future, bodyguards. His existence gives all the Misty Mountains, so Moria, Goblin Town, and Gundabad, a level for all their military buildings. You can recruit banner carriers as long as you've purchased Bolg, which, if you don't understand how important that is, all your units get very cheap level ups, except for the Gundabad orcs. So, free level 2, basically, considering that they're going to kill their resources worth with Scavenger. So yeah, you're basically giving your units free banner carriers. Then you give all units with banner carriers on the map a splash attack and knock back enemies, on top of Bolg being able to do that as well. Then he has his bodyguard. Your heroic unit for this faction comes from this hero, which summons a level 1 version of this unit that is currently protecting Bolg. Every attack slows enemy units and reduces their damage by 25% for 8 seconds. On top of a charge attack, which gives them bonus damage and armor during the charge and knocks back enemies. So something you don't use against pikemen, but other than that, really good units. And again, these guys are level 10, which have nearly 2,000 health each, same as a scout hero. Not a big change compared to them, but that's fine. But yeah, Bolg summons a unit of heroic Orc limited to 3, and then passively he just gains one whole unit to defend himself while he is still alive. And he's not going to die very easily because he has 6,000 health and a pretty chunking amount of damage. On top of, all Orc hordes on the field form a well-ordered formation, increasing their armor by 30%. I don't know if this actually has how large that AoE is. I'm just going to check by moving these guys away. Let's see if the leadership effect is literally map-wide. Okay, it's not map-wide. But it is a decently large range. It's a screen-wide range of just 30% extra armor. And on top of that, bats will swarm around Bolg for 60 seconds, increasing his range of vision, revealing invisible enemies and weakening nearby enemies. Doesn't say exactly what the weakening is, and the vision you can't really tell is actually doing anything. But hey, weakening enemies is more than enough to just make all of that worth it. He's an incredible unit support. Just from the second you recruit him, he is worth it. On top of just having a beautiful looking model. I really like this Bolg. He is really good and really strong, and I hope they give more bodyguards to heroes in the future. And now we come to the last hero, the one that's been looming over all of them from the beginning, Smaug, the terrible, the calamitous, the chiefest and greatest of calamities. He whose blades are... I'm going to shut up. He is A tier. Easily A tier. On top of just being incredibly powerful, he can fly or sit on the ground to avoid dealing with the archers of your enemies if they have more arrows, or you can keep in the sky and just destroy everything that dares not wield a bow in its hands. If you're on foot, you are classed as a monster, so you take a lot of damage from pikemen, but take much heavily reduced damage from arrows, and obviously vice versa. You only take damage from arrows and range attacks while in the sky. Then his first ability, which actually has 2 stages. I've already gone over to the second stage, but the first stage of this is the Greed of the Golden One, which allows you to destroy your own settlements to give yourself experience with Smaug. And you can destroy, for example, a troll lair and just get a full level. Really good ability. And then it evolves, so unlike with the Hunter, whose ability eventually falls off, the ability changes to Pugnacity of the Golden Dragon. Immediately destroy target building. Does reduce damage to citadel buildings. So any again, similar to Holdar's ability of just destroy a building, destroy any non-crucial building, and just do heavy damage to anything that is a crucial building, like a central outpost or a citadel. Then you have a fireball, which is exactly like it was for Drogoth back in BFME 2 Vanilla. But then the flap is also very similar, but it also will increase the area of effect of that fire. Yes, fire spreading is finally back in the game. The only way you can fire spread, but it's also really cool. Any source of fire will be empowered, growing in size and dealing more damage. So yes, you can kill your own units by doing this. You'd probably end up doing it, but still really good nonetheless, because it also just keeps enemies constantly flung down to the ground, and you can deal with them while you're trying to run away or trying to engage, a bunch of different things. And then you have Incinerate, just burn everything in a large area. Again, reminiscent of Drogoth, and that's just his state in the air, already an incredible mass slayer. Now he has some new abilities. Dragon Breath, he opens doors and burns garrisoned units. So, for example, the troll up there, these goblins up here, they would have been burnt and gone. No more defences for you when you're dealing with Smaug the Calamitous. He has Dragon Screech, roars at full volume, intimidating all enemies, to make them run away in fear. And then he has the Hypnotic Gaze. Target hero becomes invulnerable for a long time, but will not respond to any commands and will no longer fight. Can't use it on your own, of course. You're just turning an enemy hero off for a long time. It doesn't even say what happens. But I'm assuming a long duration can be up to 2 minutes. I've never used it myself because I never take Smaug out of the air, because why would I? I've glitched Bolg, I've sent him away from his bodyguard and they're not following him. But yeah, Smaug, incredible hero. One of the best mass slayers in the game, next to Gandalf, for sure. He is definitely a force to be feared with. On the field, you have to always have a ranged unit to deal with him, otherwise he can just destroy your entire base. Whenever I'm playing against the Misty Mountains, I'm always afraid I have never got enough archers to deal with his might. And it sometimes happens. Sometimes I get screwed over. Sometimes I have to deal with mountain giants. Misty Mountains is such a terrifying faction, such a strong faction. It has so little that it doesn't need. Everything works with this faction. Everything has its place. Everything knows its place. And Smaug is the top of that food chain. And that is it. That is every single faction ranked. And the last video of this hero ranking saga will be me going over every faction and putting them in a ranking, a ranking from worst hero roster to best hero roster. Although, to be fair, most hero rosters are really good and need very little, as I've already talked about, even with Misty Mountains. Hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Farewell.